Hi, I'm Kathy, or Garfimeo from TheOneRing.net, and we've got Josh, who is Saruman. Kellie.
Kelly, also known as Keely.
And Alex, also known as Feely.
Josh, I'm LSR.
And I'm Clifford, most often known as Quick Bean.
So you notice we have two Joshes. Aren't you glad it's Saruman and Elisar? Those are the important names to remember.
Yes.
All right, so this is Tolkien fandom, The Road Goes Ever On, very Tolkien, and as you know, fandom has been around for 77 years because that's when The Hobbit first came out. So, what kinds of things are we still doing to engage you? What kind of things are you doing to engage other friends and your own fandom with Tolkien? Quickly, obviously, there are some important dates on the Tolkien calendar. His birthday, January 3rd. Tolkien Reading Day, May 25th, or March 25th, which is when the ring was destroyed. And September 22nd, which is the Baggins' birthday bash.
Yes,
Ooh, that got an
yes,
ooh.
you can be it.
How many people here have been to our Baggins' birthday bash party? A few of you? We've got news. Don't leave, we have news for you guys. All right. Cliff, can you just basically tell us the brief history of celebrating Tolkien's birthday?
The professor inspires us all over many, many generations, and we found an easy way to show our honor for him. Everybody can do it individually around the world at their own times, but on January 3rd, when you gather with some of your friends, have a beautiful second dinner, and then maybe some supper after that. And when you're all full in front of the fireplace, and then everybody has a glass, or perhaps it comes in pints. I'm getting me one. I had to do that, sorry. But we all get together, and on that evening, we just say, in toast, to the professor. People do it on Twitter, people do it worldwide, and it's just our way to, honor the professor. And it's very simple. It's just observing his birthday on January 3rd, and after you've just gotten your New Year's Eve hangover under control, it's another good excuse to keep
Go out and drink again.
Yes.
That works. Tolkien Reading Day has become a very popular thing. Some people just like to go home and actually remember to pick up one of Tolkien's books, maybe one they haven't read in a while, or a favorite poem, or pick up something that they haven't done. Others go to libraries and read publicly. Some will go to schools and take books to kids, Tolkien books to kids. It's basically Tolkien Reading Day, and it's to sort of celebrate the destruction of the ring. This last year, it happened to fall on the day of WonderCon, so we actually did a live reading of the destruction of the ring, which
That was fun.
that was a lot of fun. I need 11 people to come up to the microphone. And when I say 11, I mean not 10 and not 12. I need 11 people at the microphone. We're going to do a Tolkien reading event right now.
Incidentally,
Right now,
when we
11,
read
there's
the
1,
destruction
2,
of the ring
4,
at
5, 6,
WonderCon.
7,
Run!
8, that's enough. We got 11 now. All right.
All right.
Does that count 11?
I don't know. Go count. Go count. Go count.
Woo!
Oh, there you go. 11. Oh, Batman.
Aww.
Thank you, Suvi.
Suvi is the best. Give her a round
Yeah,
of applause.
Suvi. Woo!
Now, Cliff, because you have an awesome reading voice, you get to read the first stanza.
Thank you kindly. Wow.
Okay, so we're going to read. This is Bilbo's drinking song, but you all know it from the books, not the movie, because they didn't do it in the movie, but when Frodo suddenly gets asked to do something hobbity, like sing a song in the pub, the Green Dragon, he gets up and sings Bilbo's drinking song, and here we go.
Wasn't this song actually transferred to Boffer in the
It
extended
was.
version
I think
of
it was.
Unexpected Journey?
Beaufort does sing it in
He
the
gets to sing
extended
this.
Hobbit,
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Unexpected
Okay.
Journey.
First stanza, dude.
There is an inn, a merry old inn, beneath an old gray hill. And there they brew a beer so brown that the man in the moon himself came down one night to drink his fill.
The ostler has a tipsy cat that plays a 5-string fiddle, and up and down he runs his bow, now squeaking high, now purring low, and now sawing in the middle.
And feel free to throw personality into it. Okay, you're out. Personality.
The Lord keeps a little dog that is mighty fond of jokes. When there's a good cheer among the guests, he cocks an ear and at all the jests and laughs until he chokes.
They also keep a horned cow, as proud as any queen. But music turns her head like ale, and makes her wave her tough tail and dance upon the green.
And oh, silver dishes and the store of silver spoons. For Sunday there's a special pair, and these they polish up with care on Saturday afternoon.
You can do it.
I believe in you.
The man in the moon was drinking. And the cat began to wail. A dish and a spoon on the table danced. The cow in the garden madly pranced, and the little dog chased his tail. The man in the moon took another mug, then rolled beneath his chair. And there he dozed and dreamed a veil, till the sky and the stars were pale, and dawn was in the air.
That's a really tough act to follow, so no. Then the ostler said to his tipsy cat, "The white horses of the moon, they neigh and champ their silver bits, but their master's been and drowned his wits, and the sun'll be rising soon."
So the cat on his fiddle played hey diddle diddle, a jig that would wake the dead. He squeaked and sawed and quickened the tune, while the landlord shook the man in the moon. "It's after 3, he said.
They rolled the man slowly up the hill and bundled him into the moon, while his horses galloped up in a rear, and the cow came capering like a deer, and a dish ran up with a spoon.
Now quicker the fiddle went diddly diddle, diddle dum diddle, and the dog began to roar. The cow and the horses stood on their heads, the guests all bounded from their beds and danced upon the floor. With a ping and a pong, little strings broke. The cow jumped over the moon, and the little dog laughed to see such fun. And the Saturday dish went off at a run. Woo! And the silver Sunday spoon.
Thank you, Batgirl. All right, all together now for the last stanza.
Thank you.
Around the moon rolled behind the hill, as the sun behind the hill, the sun raised up her head. She hardly believed her fiery eyes, for though it was day, to her surprise, they all went back to bed. Woo!
So,
and that's the kind of fun we have on Tolkien Reading Day and the Bilbo Baggins Birthday Bash, so now you know what to expect.
And can I just say, what a ridiculous song.
Could you imagine a stodgy old Oxford professor wrote that?
yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Speaking of the Baggins Birthday Bash, news.
What?
Baggins Birthday Bash, news.
News flash, guys. This is the big news we've been waiting to release all year.
That was last year. You see how popular it was?
Okay.
Even Hagrid came, look.
Okay, so let me explain something
They
about...
They tried to shut us down how many times last year?
About 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times.
So, just to let you guys all know about the Baggins Birthday Bash and what happened, we've been doing this since 2002. Every year on the weekend of September 22nd, we have a get-together in Griffith Park. And for the most part, like even during the height of the popularity of Lord of the Rings, I think at most we got maybe 100 people. And it was a nice laid-back potluck picnic. We weren't expecting all that much to happen, especially now that all of the Middle-earth movies are over for the foreseeable future.
We were wrong.
Then last year, we had our Baggins Birthday Bash. Almost 700 people showed up.
Yeah.
Because Tolkien fandom is the freaking best.
And we do throw a good party, and now they all know about it.
Yeah.
So we decided that we should become a little bit more official
We're-
and get a license
we're gonna
so that
have
the
to get a
park won't threaten to
permit
throw us out.
Yeah.
And also, we wanted to find a park that was just like, a little bit more accessible than Griffith Park, because
More parking?
Griffith Park doesn't have a whole lot of parking, and you sort of have to wind around in some very weird areas to get to some of the nicer spots. So we looked around, and we finally found a spot that was actually open on the date. And we just put down the what is going on over there?
Karen's signaling to me. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Oh. And thus, I have nothing more to add.
So I put it up on the screen there.
Okay. So we have now officially put down the money for the El Dorado Park in Long Beach in the Arbor Day Grove. It's a very nice lakeside park.
It's a pretty lake.
It's a beautiful location. It is kind of deep in the park, so we are going to actually do signage this time to direct you through the park to get to where you need to be.
Because it's a long and winding road, which
it is.
I don't know of a Baggins that wouldn't enjoy a long and winding road.
Or a beetle, for that matter.
Or a beetle.
Sorry.
He went there.
I'm terrible, I know.
So yes, you'll be seeing us publish this and everything like that, but it's basically official. We actually do
And
now have
we
the
are
permit.
going to also be setting up a small GoFundMe just to help cover the rest of the permit costs, because I don't want to have to pay for all of this myself.
Other than that, it's free, and we
yeah,
won't know.
We're not charging.
He could pay $10, $15 to support, and you might not support, but you're both welcome to
but
come.
Also, yeah, contributing is not a factor in whether or not you get to attend. You get to attend, no matter what.
Which is why Entertainment Weekly named us one of the best free events to go to last year.
LA,
which is why they all
LA
came.
Weekly, not Entertainment Weekly.
LA Weekly. Okay,
Same
I'm
thing.
sorry. The one in Los Angeles. Yeah, those guys.
But yeah. Now that we're listed annually as one of the best free events in Los Angeles, we now sort of have to step up.
Yeah. Kelly, you're next.
You're screaming.
I figured that's a good one. Kelly has something to say because she really has something awesome to say right now.
She does. Yeah.
Something you will not have seen before down on the floor anywhere because it doesn't exist yet.
That's true. That's me being chased by a troll outside the Weta Cave in Wellington, New Zealand. I don't know how many of you are familiar with my sister and I's web series Happy Hobbit, but
and that's the next slide, so don't worry.
All right.
Okay.
But other than Happy Hobbit, I am also an author and a screenwriter and a developer of intellectual property IP, and I write under the pen name K.M. Rice, which is my initials. And as this other entity, K.M. Rice, I was hired by Weta Workshop this past fall and winter to come down to Wellington and assist Daniel Falconer, who you may know for his Hobbit Chronicles books.
All those lovely books that are sitting on the desk down there where they're doing all the demos and everything, all those collectible books that are awesome.
So I helped him write and research the biggest book that Weta has ever done to date. It is a Middle-earth book, and it is exploring the spaces and making of Middle-earth as seen through the films, and it is covering both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
Woo! And what aspect do you add to it that Daniel hasn't been able to cover himself?
Well, Daniel's a massive Tolkien fan and Tolkien scholar in his own right, but as someone very close to the films, because he worked on the Rings films, he didn't have the outsider's perspective of a fan, so that was a unique presence that I was able to give, is the voice of the fans. What would the fans want in a book like this? So you can expect lots of new imagery, new interviews, even going back to the Rings days. And we don't have a release date yet, but we know it will be next year. So keep your eyes open for this book.
Very nice.
Woo!
And that's an exclusive, by the way. You guys are the first public audience to hear about this new, awesome, cool thing that hopefully will be around for Comic-Con next year.
I was just cleared to be able to share this information. So.
So yeah, let's talk about. Okay, we're going to talk real quick about a couple of our shows that we run annually, or basically regular, semi-regular throughout. So Happy Hobbits are first.
Yeah, so that's our show, Happy Hobbit. I mean, obviously it's a photo from it. But, yeah, what we do is just basically take a recipe or a craft that's Middle-earthy or hobbity and give it an elven twist or a hobbity twist. Or a lot of them already have that, such as brewing, which obviously elves have got to have some knowledge of, considering Thranduil's consumption of, that drink. But, yeah, we do brew episodes on how to brew, episodes on things like lembas bread, and we also have a bunch of animals at our house, so we do Rohan themed ones with horses, and then how to raise goats, just a whole range of Middle-earthy type of...
The whole idea is to bring Middle Earth into your daily life in an entertaining way that both educates and hopefully
And
makes
it's
you
silly.
laugh.
And
You
it's
can
silly.
laugh at us,
Yes, very
please.
silly.
We do
We're
like the silly
insane.
aspect. Silly aspects are always good. Hey, Mr. Clifford.
Well, yes, indeed. Well, here we go.
And this is one of our longest running shows, isn't it?
It is. My gosh. Justin, haven't we been doing this for over 5 years now? Wow. Every Tuesday we do a live stream show, and it comes from the heart of Hollywood. I'm one of the original writers and editors from the past 17 years. I've been a volunteer for TheOneRing.net, and I've hosted many events and the parties that we love to do, and the picnics and the Oscar parties. But the most fun we have is these unexpected little surprises on a Tuesday afternoon. Anybody, will just walk in to our studio. Oh, look, surprise, it's Dominic Monaghan. Or surprise, there's Mark Ordesky, who happens to be with us, I believe. Is Mr. Ordesky here?
Where did you run up to?
Is he here?
Yeah, Mark
Yes.
Ordesky.
Mark Ordesky's fantastic.
Well, I think Jane came with him too.
Really good people all around Los Angeles come to Meltdown Comics, which is a great store in the heart of Hollywood, and we do a live stream show. So I encourage you guys to watch. Sometimes we are doing interviews with game designers, people who make board games and card games based on Tolkien. Sometimes we interview cast and crew, or other people who worked at New Line Cinema who can tell great battle stories about what they went through during the production of The Rings. And sometimes we talk about how our other stars and celebrities from the Middle-earth films, how they're doing in other properties. Nowadays, we're talking a lot about Carl Urban because he's so good as Bones McCoy in the new Star Trek films. He's so good. And yeah, I can't wait to bring him back and interview him.
Yeah.
Because he's just fantastic. Damn it, Q, get off my bridge. I had to. Anyways, we're celebrating 50 years of Trek, and another little side announcement that I can make while we're chit-chatting about it. About 12 or 13 years ago, TheOneRing.net got together with some fans, and we made a documentary film called Ringers, Lord of the Fans.
And it's really good.
Thank you. We went to Slam Dance, and we won the audience award at Slam Dance.
And the Newport Beach Film Festival. And you also won.
Newport Beach Film Festival. We won Best Documentary, which was a lovely day. And then Sony distributed the film. For 10 years, they had the license. And it was on television around the world, on DVD, everywhere. But then Sony's license is now over. The rights to the film have come back to us, the original independent filmmakers. Yay. Thank you. And this is the first time I've been allowed to make this announcement. I just got the green light. We are re-editing some more content, and we're going to be re-releasing and distributing Ringers, Lord of the Fans, directed by Carlene Cordova.
So a director's cut.
It'll be the extended cut, but Bilbo shoots first, still, in this new version.
Awesome.
Just to say. Okay.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, jeez.
We're going to have our film out again on Amazon Prime and on Vimeo Pro, narrated by Dominic Monaghan, and I do think it's a lovely little film, even after all this time. And thank you for your support, everyone.
Woo! Sure, go for it.
Oh, that's my thing.
That's your cue.
Okay, so... Jeez, I got a fan out there.
Fangirl.
Torn Book Club has a fan. Of course they do. Well,
well,
I mean, obviously the logo came from a fan.
Yeah, I should say this logo here was actually fan art that one of our regular viewers sent to me. probably after only maybe the third month that I was doing this show. And I contacted her immediately and said, can I make this the logo for the show? It makes it look so professional. So what Torn Book Club is exactly what you think it is. We discuss books, and we also have a monthly Book of the Month discussion, and it's not always Tolkien. It's many of the other things that we all know and love. We've done episodes on Harry Potter. We've done episodes on Game of Thrones.
You spent most of last year on the Silmarillion.
We did. Like, when we go to Tolkien, we go hard. Yeah. Last year, we did a very extensive chapter-by-chapter breakdown of the Silmarillion. Each episode focused on one chapter of the Silmarillion. It's 20 episodes and almost 30 hours long. It's a deep, deep dive into the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
It's good. Deep cuts. Deep cuts.
So what have you got going on?
Okay, so, well, now we really just focus on the Book of the Month because that's about all I can handle right now. But just so you all know, our next Book of the Month discussion is next Sunday, the 31st, and I actually happen to have the book with me.
So you get to learn what the book is going to be. And just in case you want to join in.
I announced the book at the beginning of the month, so people had time to read it, but I happen to have a copy with me as well. There it is. Because this is the month of Comic-Con, we're doing our first comic book, and it is The Killing Joke.
All right.
So we will be discussing this next Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Please do come and check it out. And I do believe that my fairly semi-regular co-host is in the audience with us. Eve, are you here? Yes, there she is. Hey, wait. Hey. It's a beautiful.
Did you want to mention the other?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would like to sort of give a little hint as to what next month's Book of the Month will be. It's a new book in a series we all know and love. It's not Tolkien, but it's one that I think most people in this room probably know and love. And it's a sequel we never thought we would get, and it's actually a play.
It's actually a play.
Wow, that was a tease without saying anything.
Yeah, but I think some people here probably got what it was.
The play that's completely sold out and you can't get tickets for.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
But not Hamilton.
But not
The
Hamilton,
other
because that's a musical. That's a musical.
The other one, yeah.
Oh, God, if they made a musical of this.
I know. All right, Mr. Josh. Now, this is about your regular thing, and then we'll get into the new products. So, about your what you do with what basically what is Collecting the Precious and what you do for our website.
I review and talk about, share news stories about all the new collectibles that are coming out. Generally, anymore they come out, they're coming from Weta Workshop, which you obviously see in the booth downstairs at 3613. So, anytime that they announce a new product or anything, I shoot out a little news story, and then if I actually end up buying that particular item, which I think there's a picture of my collection in here at some point, you'll see that I've bought a lot of them. And so during kind of weekends or whatever when I'm not teaching and stuff, I sit up with my iPhone and do a short little review of each item that comes into my collection.
And it's pretty cool. So if because it's not just what, I mean, there's
no,
other
I've gotten stuff from Sideshow Collectibles over the years, and Funko has done some Lord of the Rings and Hobbit stuff over the years, and different companies. So I've got all kinds of different stuff in my collection.
What usually makes you buy the collectible? What pushes you to buy that exact one if you don't buy them all?
I think it's how that character in that moment hit me when I first saw the movies and read the books and stuff.
Like this one was the instant I saw it, I fell on my knees and was like, when?
Well, exactly. And the thing is I was talking with one of the guys down at Weta about this actually just this week, obviously, and said that this was a moment when she comes out of the Golden Hall that is really kind of an impact moment for her. You get that she's realizing things are going south, and
she's alone.
And and she's alone, and you got that beautiful flag that just comes off the pole and floats out to them as they're coming up, and it's a piece that people have been wanting on various message boards and chanting and asking for over a decade. And so it's nice to see Weta start, as they've gotten the slices back, start turning out these pieces that people like myself have been saying, hey, listen, we need you to make this.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
want to
after a
fill in the
decade."
gaps of all of the Lord of the Rings characters that we didn't get in the first round.
Right.
I had the pleasure of being able to check in on Jane as she was sculpting this, and it was really exciting to see its progress from gray clay to the finished product. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The sculptors down there are just
Well,
incredibly
and
talented.
aside from that little contest, if any of you have been down to Weta, they've got a contest to win a trip to New Zealand. But the second place prize is a statue that she's been painting right there in front of people.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
she's
that's
been.
Dodie.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a different artist.
Okay, a different artist. Okay, but she's hand painting it right there, and that's going to be the second prize on Sunday night for, you know. So the first prize, two people go to New Zealand. Second prize though is this hand painted here at the convention.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, that was kind of cool.
We also have a giveaway in this panel today, do we not?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay. Well,
Nobody told me
I
anything.
know. Maybe I found out a little birdie flew into my windowsill
all
and
right.
told me a little something, something.
All right, so
We'll
I'm
get to
going to
that.
run into, if you've been, how many people here have already stopped by the Weta booth?
Woo!
So you saw a lot of the new stuff, and a lot of you haven't been down there yet. They sent us, I know it looks like a picture, but guess what? These things are actually little videos, if it runs. Oh, come on. Okay, I don't think it likes the VCA connector. All right, well, okay, unfortunately the video's not going to run. Oh, okay. All right, the video does run.
Okay.
I'm gonna try this one again.
All right, we got another one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this one again. So dramatic. Okay, I'm going to try and skip over smog now and go because there's like 5 more of these after smog.
That's okay.
Yeah, and Gus is here and he'll sign that one for you, and he's so super sweet. And I think that scene was the scene we were all waiting for between second movie and third movie. Am I right? That sequence.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know who Gus Hunter is, he did a lot of work on Lord of the Rings, so he's definitely someone that you want to go up and say hi to during this convention.
Yeah, he's been with Weta for 16 years, so you know he helped create Rivendell. I talked with him yesterday. He was like, "Oh, Rivendell's like probably my proudest moment." I'm like, "Okay, dude, I love you." All right, here she comes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, this is cool.
that one's downstairs. And the little figures, because it's an environment, so the little figures are little, but there's a whole bunch of them.
Even the bunny sled makes an
Yes,
appearance.
even the bunny sled is there. And what I love about that one, and it makes me sad that Christopher Lee's not still alive. I think he would love that. I think he would just be so proud of that particular sequence.
He would be.
Yeah. Back when Saruman was still a good guy.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we've got one more, I believe. Oh, So the theme here seems to be iconic moments. Pretty sure that was the last one. Yeah, that was the last one.
That was awesome.
Oh God, we can see each other now.
Suddenly we're all vampires.
Okay, and as I did mention, yes, you can win a trip to New Zealand. This contest is only open until the end of Sunday, when the convention closes. So, but I mean, anyone online can enter it, so we can post it wherever we want. You guys can tweet it and stuff like that. But go down there and enter. Yes. You know, absolutely enter, because who doesn't want a free trip to New Zealand? Anybody? Anybody not? Anyone say no?
If you say no, get out.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong panel.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to open it up to a Q&A, and it's been brought to my attention that one of the things we'd like to know is what would you like to see story-wise from Middle-earth, product-wise, anything's the moon? I mean, do you guys, not that you can have new books, although didn't we get announced that not a long lost poem, but a poem that hadn't been published in like 60 or 70 years is going to getting republished?
A poem about Galadriel, I believe.
Yeah, okay. So, believe it or not, Tolkien stuff is still being released. It's so fun.
I love that we still get new Tolkien stuff hitting the shelves. It's like, he is the Tupac Shakur of literature.
Everyone, feel free to line up at the mic to ask questions about anything, any of our shows, any of the staff, anything.
And also, like, if there's anything you can think of that you would just love to see, like,
young
Middle-earth
Aragorn,
related, anything,
yes.
like just off the top of your head, anything like your wildest desires, feel free to spout it out.
Maybe not your wildest desires, but
Middle-earth related.
I've been waiting a year to ask this question, actually.
Awesome.
Where did the woolworms come from?
Oh, the werewolves?
The werewolms. You know, I've done
Dune.
I've done a How dare you?
Tremors.
Tolkien predates Dune by about 20 years.
Yes, he does. You're right.
I did a little research into the werewolves. The big thing was, are they even a creation of Tolkien's? Because I got a lot of questions like that, and they are real. They are part of Tolkien's mythology. They are, from what I can gather, because there isn't a whole lot of information about them, they are very, very old, not really allied to any specific entity. Like, they don't work for Sauron. They don't really work for Morgoth. They just kind of are. They're just kind of there.
Kind of like Shelob.
I know,
it's
kind of an underwhelming answer. I'm sorry.
But in other words, Tolkien did put them somewhere.
Tolkien did put them in there, and that was just like the little bit of research I was able to get. I haven't dug deep enough into it.
Isn't there a book that talks about the animals or the beasts of?
Oh yeah, there's a bestiary, and that's actually what I looked it up in, and it didn't have much info.
one more. How do you officially become a member of the fan club?
There isn't a fan club. There was one back when New Line had an official fan club when they started the films, and you could register. And at the beginning, if you registered,
And
you could be
paid a
in the
certain amount of
credits
money.
in the DVD. And if you registered for 1 year, you got the first film. If you registered for 2 years, you got credited in the second film as well. And if you registered for 3 years, you got into all three of them. But then they didn't continue it after the films
This
were done.
was the extended editions of The Lord of the Rings when you see that huge crawl at the end of the credits of just a bazillion names.
Yeah, so there's no official thing, but
we're the best fan club in this room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the fan club.
Now I have a feeling when you say fan club, you mean Torn.
Okay, you can come to theonering.net. We have chat rooms. We have a message board where you can actually talk about specific things. Go into where they're reading the books. Go in where they're talking about collectibles.
And our
where they're being.
shows, Torn Tuesday and Torn Book Club, we have live chats going that anybody can join in on.
And it's all free.
That's where you're going to be able to best interact with other fans around the world. Actually, during they're doing any of the chats.
Yeah,
because
we encourage you guys to join our community, look at the activities we have on our Facebook timeline, look at our main webpage, be part of our live chat shows, and it's all free.
And even though he's not here because he's down in Australia, Demosthenes hosts a show generally on Saturday and he usually picks a topic, and sometimes it's a chapter of a book, sometimes it's a specific topic or a character that he's talking about, but it's always Tolkien related.
The Hall of Fire.
Hall of Fire.
The Hall of Fire that we have.
And that's been going on for
That's been
a
going
long
on longer
time.
than anything we've been doing.
Yeah, Demos has been really, really strong in having a regular chat. So that's a good way of interacting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And if you're local, come to the to the Baggins Birthday Bash. Seriously.
Yeah, and we encourage everyone.
It's all
to
ages. It's all
join us.
ages.
It's a potluck picnic, and you just bring something to eat and drink, and we'll all have a lovely day. A lovely day.
So one of the things I'd like to see more of, as far as like amongst fans, is a lot more, first age, second age, Silmarillion type of stuff, which I know it's limited to due to the Tolkien estate and different property
there
rights.
is a little bit of a rights issue
Yeah.
there.
So, but
I totally agree with you. I would love to see that.
But I guess my other question is, because I know last year, Clifford, you had mentioned how New Line's not done with Middle Earth as far as the film goes, delving into the appendices. I know it was mentioned Aragorn and Arwen and the hunt for Gollum, that type of thing. But I was wondering do you think we'll be able to see any of probably some of the Númenórean kings, or even some of the kings after Isildur's downfall at the Battle of the Last Alliance?
Everything's on the table right now, and there are some ears in this room who are listening to the fans, and they want to know what we want next. Everybody says the same thing, unilaterally. We want to see the Silmarillion produced or manifest in some way.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, we do.
And in lieu of that, I will take young Aragorn, young Legolas. Well, not young Legolas, but
Now,
Young
you can
Aragorn Chronicles could be fun.
You can talk about the downfall of Númenor because it's in the appendix in the Return of the King.
Which is, by the way, a very epic battle, an
very
epic scene.
But it's a bare sketch. It's a bare sketch of the real narrative about Ar-Pharazôn and the Númenórean kings, who are mentioned by name in the Silmarillion. So if New Line and Warner Brothers get together and say, let's make a TV series. Maybe it could be an anthology TV series like Amazing Stories, or it could be a movie, a set of installments. But there are so many stories in the appendices, including what happened with Elladan and Elrohir, the twin sons of Elrond, and the tragedy of what happened to Elrond's wife.
Or Eorl the Young and the Rohirrim when they moved down south and become allied with Gondor.
Yeah. So, a lot can go on. My money is on the fulfillment of Lee Pace's dialogue to Orlando Bloom, where he says, go find this guy. He's a good guy. He's a ranger. I mean, you need to meet this character. And I'm like, this is the biggest red herring in motion picture history if it's not followed up on. So that leaves us at a point of speculation. Orlando Bloom, who doesn't seem to be doing much these days. Sorry, no, but he's seemingly ageless. you could have Orlando Bloom cast another actor as the younger Aragorn, and off you go. You've got a movie. And the audience would eat it up. The audience would eat it up. The Hunt for Gollum has proved to be one of the most popular fan films, a non-commercial enterprise made by fans for fans, like we do at TheOneRing.net.
And it's an exceptionally well-made fan film.
It's exceptionally well made.
If you haven't checked
So
it out.
if they wanted to make a real film and get some of the team from Weta and the art directors and the designers, they could put it all together if they wanted to, but we don't know yet, but they're listening. They want to know what we'd like to see next. It's up to us to tell them.
To piggyback real quick, sorry, on Cliff's thought. Downstairs at the Weta booth, one of the statues they have is an elven warrior statue from the Second Age. And I'm like, I would like to see some more Second Age stuff, and an Elendil statue and a Isildur statue. I'd like to see some of those, because, I mean, we do get a glimpse of them at the beginning of Fellowship.
We get
So
the
it would be nice
Dwarven
to have
Kings.
some
We get the 7
collectibles.
Dwarven Kings. I would love to see some. Now that we've had the
I don't
Hobbit,
know that my collection room has that much space left, but I would take it.
You will make the space.
I would like to see those, and I would like to see their rings. I would love to see more expansion of the rings.
Yeah.
And I know that Badali can do that because they've got the book rights.
They would.
So they could,
Yeah.
you know.
And
so
if you haven't been to a Badali Jewelry's booth, I do highly recommend checking it out, because they've got amazing Lord of the Rings stuff and so many other properties too that I think you'll really dig.
Yeah.
All right, quick canvas of the room, and my panelists here with me. Everybody, raise your hands if you'd like to learn more in a TV show or a film about the realm of Arnor and the kingdom in the north that fell apart.
Yeah.
where all those ruins come from.
There's so much storytelling that could be told. I think that'd be great.
And then since we are at Comic-Con, I'm not sure if you guys saw it was a webcomic of the Aina Lindale that was published either this year or last year. It was a fan-based, all free online.
Oh yeah,
Beautifully
I did
done.
see that one. That was a very well done comic. I really liked it. I liked the depiction of the Ainur.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Thank you.
Hi, I kind of want to ask a question. This is, it might be a little hard, or maybe from your nicknames, but what is your favorite Tolkien character in Middle-earth of all time? You can name one or
Eowyn.
Samwise.
Pippin.
Oh, you can.
That was easy.
I'm going to go with Aragorn. That's always been my favorite.
Hello, Elisar. Is that like obvious?
Yeah.
I'm with Samwise on that. I choose Samwise.
It's all about Sam.
In Tolkien ever?
In Tolkien ever. I'm sorry, I'm going with Eowyn because she was kicking butt before people realized that women were allowed to kick butt.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah,
That's why this new
absolutely.
statue coming is awesome. We need more Eowyn, and more Eowyn, and a few more Rohan things thrown in as well, because, we like horses.
Well,
I'm going to have to go
steal
with...
Can I steal that idea real quick? I apologize.
Go for it.
If speaking of Rohan, if you stop at the Weta booth and you want to bug them about something and tell them that's something that you want to see, they've been making statues of Lord of the Rings since Fellowship came out. 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
15th anniversary of
there,
Fellowship.
There is no, and it's crazy. There is no statue that's been made of anybody from Rohan riding a horse.
Oh! Oh my God!
I don't know. I know. The only statues made of anybody from Rohan, they're all standing up. You have the horse people, and none of them are riding a horse. So go and tell them we need an Éomer on steed.
Yes.
More Carl Urban. Okay. Yes.
And there's
Eowyn, Eomer, all of them. Anyway.
I also want to add, I know this might be because of the rights, but I'm looking to see a little bit on Beren and Luthien, maybe like fan art or something like that, or discussion on that, because that is one of my ultimate favorite Tolkien stories is that one. It's only one chapter.
Actually, when I did the big dissection of the Silmarillion, we actually took 2 episodes to go through all of Beren and Luthien, because it's such an amazing story. It's one of my all-time favorites, and also the only story in the Silmarillion that has a happy ending.
Yeah.
So one day when the rights become available.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you could make probably a whole trilogy out of that story, or at least a duology.
Yeah.
We have time for a couple more questions before we do our quick giveaway.
Hi guys. So I collect Tolkien books from like the 60s, the 50s, and obviously the History of Middle Earth 1 through 12 volume, which is super expensive. So those are like my pride and joys, my babies. What do you have in your Tolkien collections that is your like pride and joy that you would like never sell?
Actually, earlier this month or last month, I finally got all 12 volumes of the History of Middle Earth.
That was great.
And I got it for a song from a friend of mine.
And I don't have
And it's
it.
like it's all original printings. And I have a second printing of The Lord of the Rings, second edition, that was handed down to me from my dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
When
great.
I personally would, the thing I'm hunting for is an annotated version of The Hobbit. I know that Cliff's got an amazing one, and every time he goes through it, I'm like, ooh, because it's not currently in print, as far as I know.
No, there was a new printing that came out,
you can find it.
6 or 7
Can
years
I?
ago.
Yeah. Okay,
absolutely
well, then
you can find
okay,
it.
I got to go back and look for it then, because that looked like.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah. But I have. Well, we hosted a couple of little Oscar parties, and I happened to have gotten on our very first Oscar party, and I have it hanging on my wall in my office. In fact, Mark, I think I showed it to you. Well, Mark might be gone now. But it's a signed poster, and it's actually a really artistic, it's the official Oscar poster, and that year Alex Ross did it, and it was the Golden Knight, so it was the statue, but he's like standing on a building, kind of leaning out, and it's done very superhero style, almost like Batman, but it's the golden Oscar statue. And then it's signed by Peter Jackson and Richard Taylor and Howard Shore and all of the Oscar winners that came to our party that very first year, which, we threw a party for fans and had no idea cast and crew were going to show up. So that's kind of a pride and joy because it's not just the item, but it's the fact that we had a successful party. So.
Yeah.
Anyone else got anything cool?
Well, we should probably just move on. I just want everyone to get a chance to ask their questions. Thank you, though.
Hello. I just got a question for all the panel members. What moments from either the film or the novels or the books is the most memorable to you? Like, what do you think of, like, that just pops in your head immediately? Whether they're saddening or a relief or they're shocking or...
I came to the fandom through the films. Rather than the books. And I was pretty lost the first time I saw Fellowship of the Ring in theater. But what hooked me was the chase scene between Arwen and the Ring Wraith. And that is a scene that I look forward to every single time. And maybe that's because I grew up with horses and it's, a female elf just defying the darkness. But I love that scene. It's just gorgeous.
I would say, I actually remember this when I first read Lord of the Rings in high school. It's the scene in the Two Towers where Gandalf brings Theoden back from the curse from Saruman. And just the way that, we're out of time?
If you guys want to ask your questions,
we'll continue
though,
this
after.
later.
We'll be out in the hallway out there.
But that's a good answer, right?
All right. Before anybody leaves.
Oh, yes.
Look under your seat.
Someone will be lucky.
Someone may have a little something. Is that right? A poster? Is it the Smaug poster? The Smaug poster that you saw. There it is. Did you find it?
Like, watch us under the seat of all those people who left.
I know.
Did anybody find that Smaug poster under their chair?
That would be hilarious.
This would be so anticlimactic if it's not there.
We're just getting on the ground.
Anybody?
Oh.
Well, this didn't go according to plan.
Come on. Somebody has to have it.
It's there somewhere, we promise.
Trying to get this
Yeah.
off.
Justin may have to help.
Justin, if somebody doesn't find it, we'll find it. Huh? Back there?
Back there.
I saw
Wait.
someone.
Something, maybe?
Did anybody find it?
Oh, I know how it works. And I saw you back there, and I was
Maybe
like, well,
not.
you just sort of pointed, and I was like,
Somebody will find it today.
Well, anyways, congratulations to TheOneRing.net for 17 years of community. And
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you all for continuing to keep Tolkien fandom alive and running.